Good evening and welcome to our Year 7 2021 Information Evening. My name is Mandy Eggins and I am the Registrar here at St Philip's. I will be your host for the evening. Let me introduce you to the rest of our team. Marty Telfer, our
Hello.
Principal, Glenn Urain, our Head of Middle School,
Hi.
and Mark Costa, our Year 7 Coordinator.
G'day.
Tonight, we will be hearing from Mr Telfer and Mr Urain, as well as giving you an insight into a typical day in the life of Year 7 at St Philip's. We will also give you an opportunity to ask us some questions. At the bottom of your screen, you will find a question and answer box. You can type your questions in there throughout the evening, and we will try to answer as many as possible at the end of the evening. But first, I hope you enjoy our video of a day in the life of Year 7. After this, our Principal, Marty Telfer, will speak.
Hi, I'm Jasper.
And I'm Ashley, and we're current Year 7 students at St Philip's Christian College, Port Stephens.
We'd like to show you what we get up to each day.
Year 7 is fun and busy. Every day is different.
Our mornings always start with nurture. This might include time with our core teacher, chapel, assembly, or a year meeting. We love Fridays. Fridays are fun days and we get free time to hang out with our friends.
Our nurture time is spent with our core class, and this is the class that you spend most of your subjects with. Our nurture teacher is the one who gets to know us well and checks up on how we're going. That teacher is a lot like your classroom teacher in Year 6. In Year 7, our classes include maths, science, English, geography, history, music, art, PDHPE, and technology.
Technology classes include food technology, sewing, woodwork, and robotics. We also get to choose interest electives. I've chosen art.
And I've chosen dance, but there are lots of other options like mountain biking, fitness, chapel band, brain ninjas, and music.
In Year 7, sport is on Thursday. We get to do sports like AFL, netball, tennis, and beach fitness.
In our break times, we like to hang out in the retreat, play handball, table tennis, or basketball, or just enjoy the sunshine. There are lots of other things you can do, like crew group, the library, choir, and code club.
After school, the library is open for Homework Hub so that you can get your work done before you go home.
In Year 7, you get to go on a camp at the beginning of the year. This is a great time to know your classmates and teachers. It's a really fun adventure. This year, we went camping at the Basin in Sydney.
We have really enjoyed all the different subjects and opportunities that we've had in Year 7. It's helped us to get an idea of what we really enjoy doing and where our talents lie.
We have loved our Year 7 experience at St Philip's. Our favourite things have been the variety of teachers and electives and moving around the different classrooms.
Join us here at St Philip's in Year 7. We think you're going to love it here.
Well, hello again and welcome. My name is Mr. Marty Telfer, the Principal here, and I am so pleased that you could join us tonight. To our parents of existing families, a big welcome to you, to the students who are already at the school, who are going to be going to Year 7 next year, and of course a very special welcome to the students and parents of those of you who will be joining us for the very first time next year. It's great that you can be with us tonight and that we get a chance to connect with you, even if it's virtually and online rather than in person and face to face. For those of you who are going to be new students and parents here next year, we do have something in common because I too am new to St Philip's this year, and all of my 3 kids are here as well, and my oldest son is actually currently in Year 7, and I can tell you that he loves being in Year 7. He's really enjoying his time here, and the reason he does, and the reason that I've really enjoyed it so much here this year, is because it's this place is an incredibly friendly and a welcoming school community, and I love that. That's exactly the kind of school that I want to lead, a school where everyone is welcome, a school where there's an open invitation to all regardless of ability, because the truth is that is actually the kind of place in which all children flourish, where you don't have to feel like you've got to prove yourself You know, you don't have to feel like you just feel that where students are accepted just for who you are. And it's a place where students can say, I belong to St Philip's, rather than just I attend St Philip's. The other day I asked a new student in Year 7, what is it that you like about the school? And she mentioned her English teacher. And she said, oh, she's just really nice. And I said, oh, that's great. Tell me, what's the benefit to you that she's nice? And her answer was, when she thought about it, she says, because it means that I look forward to coming to school and I feel safe. And I thought, you know, as a parent, like, what a great answer. That's what we want for our kids, and it's what we want for our students when they come to school each day. People do talk to me about the different feel and the welcoming tone of the culture here. And I can tell you that that's something that's not just by chance. It is because we are a Christian college and all of our staff are united in these really important Christian beliefs and practices. And one of the things that we are all united on is our view of the students. All of us believe that every single person is one whom God has created with passion and purpose. Every student has been designed by God with love and beauty and imagination. And that makes every student at our school a precious masterpiece and a valuable treasure. And you know what? We believe that God has blessed each one of them with unique strengths and abilities. And I want to speak now just to the students, and this is the same message, you know, that I give to my own son. One of the big hopes that I have for you at St Philip's in your time here is that while you're here, that you're going to find your voice. You know, discover what it is that's unique just about you. And then I want you to work really hard at that thing and to pursue excellence in whatever that happens to be. And then, you know, figure out increasingly creative and beautiful ways about how you can share these strengths with the rest of us and be a blessing to others even beyond our school through the use of these strengths. That is my hope for you, and it's my hope for all of our students here. I really thank you for joining us tonight. We have a few more things that we're going to be doing, a few more videos to watch, but before we do, I'm actually going to get you to look at a poll, a question. We're interested to know what it is that you're excited about when it comes to going to Year 7 next year. So have a look at that poll, answer it, and then we'll be back with you shortly.
Thank you, Marty. Over the last week, Mr. Urain has been asking our current Year 7 students all about Year 7. We hope you enjoy this 60 seconds with Mr. U.
All right, Kanan, thank you for joining me for 60 seconds with Mr. U. Just have a few questions for you, starting with what's been the best part of Year 7 so far?
Probably all the different variety of classes.
Okay. So it's a little bit different to your primary school years?
Yeah, you normally just have one teacher. Having more is like better.
The privileges that you get, like you're a lot more free to do stuff.
Okay, a bit more independence?
Yeah.
The best thing's probably the teachers and my friends, and probably lunch and recess.
I've probably been having fun with friends, and obviously we had a lot of new people come into our year, so meeting new people.
Great. And what's been the most memorable moment so far this year?
Oh, it would have to be camp and like all the rain and flooding of tents, and it was just crazy.
Year 7 camp.
Yeah, tell me about that. What did you like about it?
I liked meeting all the new people. That was really fun.
Teachers and like the nice teachers and just like chilling and
Lunch in year 7.
And what's been your most memorable moments in year 7?
Camp, mostly. Like when it flooded. That was pretty cool. And then when we were packing up, there was...
The goannas?
Yeah,
Oh.
all over the stuff.
Snakes and goannas, yeah. Right. What's been your most memorable moment of the year so far?
Definitely year 7 camp.
Probably year 7 camp.
It would definitely have to be camp.
Tell me about that.
We expected like sunshine started pouring.
And what happened?
We just got soaked out of our tent. We had to go sleep in the ranger's house.
That was pretty fun though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was warm.
What's the weirdest thing that has happened?
Probably remote learning and like spending school at home.
Yeah, and how'd you cope with that?
Pretty well, I think. I don't know.
Okay, what was the hardest thing?
Resisting all the food in the cupboard.
Probably online learning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
remote learning?
Yeah.
And how did you find it?
It wasn't that bad. It was pretty easy.
What's your favourite subject?
Well, probably PE.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's fun.
Maths. I just enjoy maths.
great. I used to be your maths teacher. Is that part of the reason why? Yeah. Okay, we'll take that then.
Maths and science.
Yeah, is maths because I used to be your maths teacher? Yeah, that's right. Okay, good.
Definitely maths.
Yeah? Why's that?
I just love maths and all the puzzles.
Yeah, great to hear. Now, what's the worst part about year 7?
All the assignments.
Yeah?
Homework.
A bit of a step up from year 6?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. What's your favourite subject in year 7?
Maths and geography.
Right, great. Good to hear. And the worst part about year 7?
There's not really a worst part. It's pretty good. It's pretty fun.
That's a good answer.
All the assignments.
What's the worst part about year 7?
The expectancy for you to be more mature.
And have you stepped up to the plate, Joel? Are you more mature? I mean, yes, you are, Joel. What science experiments have you enjoyed?
I think probably our first Bunsen burner experiment, that was pretty exciting because we got to light things on fire and stuff.
I've enjoyed using Bunsen burners and stuff, and we made toffee once.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it'd have to be Bunsen burners. My favourite, probably.
Why is that?
Fire. Using the Bunsen burners, they were fun.
Yeah. What do you like about using Bunsen burners?
The fire.
Yeah, got a few pyromaniacs, I think, in our year 7 group. What's your best technology or TAS creation this year?
We made a phone stand from woodwork.
A phone stand, okay, awesome. Sounds good.
We're making like little key rings in woodwork, so yeah, that's really fun.
Woodwork.
Yeah?
Yeah, woodwork was really fun. It was good because it was hands-on.
Okay, great. And on a scale from 1 to 10, how scared are you of getting sent to my office?
Definitely a 9.5.
Ooh, yeah.
Sometimes a 9 or a 10.
Probably a 9.
Really? So there's a bit of fear there.
9.
Oh, it'd have to be about 7 or 8, probably.
7 or 8, maybe 9.
For someone between 4 and 6.
Okay, not much fear there. You feels pretty comfortable. Okay.
1.
No fear whatsoever. Thank you for spending 60 seconds with Mr. U, Destiny. Jazzy, thank you for spending 60 seconds with Mr. U. Frankie, thank you for spending 60 seconds with Mr. U. Lucas, thank you for spending 60 seconds with Mr. U. Jasper, thank you for spending 60 seconds with Mr. U. Ash, thank you for spending 60 seconds with Mr. U. Kanan, thank you for spending 60 seconds with Mr. U.
Thanks.
Oh, good evening everyone. Mr. Urain here. I'm not really that scary. I want to tell you about how you can get ready because Year 7 is coming. I'm so excited to be able to see so many people coming in for enrolment interviews. And I'd like to be able to go through some handy points to get you excited about Year 7, both the newcomers and those that are currently in Year 6 at St Phillips. So I've got a few points to go through. Number 1, get excited. The step into the secondary years it's awesome. You'll meet a heap of new people, you'll form heaps of new friends, and you'll experience so much more as you travel around the school. You'll be interacting with many more staff members in different subject areas, And you'll be using so many more facilities, like we've got the gym, we've got the science labs, the keyboard and music rehearsal rooms, you've got woodwork, sewing, cooking rooms, and that's just to name a few. So that's point one. I'd like to go through point two now. Get yourself prepared. As you'll be moving around, you'll have to prepare yourself as you follow the college timetable. This means having all the gear that you need as you move around. Don't worry though, we give you a lot of help along the way. The most important thing is that you're learning new skills each day to prepare you for the journey ahead. Number three, are you ready for independence? You'll find that you have so much more freedom in Year 7 than you probably find you have in Year 6. As you move around the school more often, you'll be making many more decisions for yourself every single day. What work you need to have finished, what uniform you need to wear, when's homework due, how will I complete this assignment? Most kids really enjoy this change from primary school, where they can get a change of scenery and talk through the different lessons and engage in learning in lots of new ways. With greater independence though, comes greater responsibility. So one of the biggest changes for our Year 7 students is being prepared for not having a primary school teacher telling them where they need to be, when things need to be finished, and giving them the constant reminders about bringing in the right gear. That's mostly up to you in Year 7. You will, however, get some help from your core teacher. Number 4, speaking of core teachers, these staff members are key to life in Year 7 and 8. They'll take you each morning for roll call, prayer and well-being. They'll also take you for a major subject like English, science, geography or history, and at least one other subject. It's their aim to build relationships with students in their class and have like a little mini community for you to be able to feel comfortable in. We know that learning happens best when students feel safe and in a known atmosphere. Our core teachers plan to bring this to every single student. Point 5, get into learning. Middle schooling is all about being engaged in your learning. Not only do we have great learning spaces, we also have wonderful extra learning opportunities. Our interest electives are hugely popular and something that our Year 7 students look forward to every fortnight. And it's a place where you get to learn new skills, and the best thing is it's doing something that you love. Whether you love sport, music, visual arts, tech, there's something there for you, and I'm sure you'll love interest electives. Number 6, join in. There are so many extracurricular activities that happen in our middle school. We have a homework hub that you've seen on a video earlier. There's subject tutoring for those that want extra assistance as well. There's a lot of clubs. I won't mention them all, but there's coding, robotics, a board games club, Crusaders group, chess teams, and a whole plethora of sporting teams too. There's musicals, camps, and service opportunities. I've got to say this though, the more that you get involved, the more that you'll enjoy being at school, and that nearly always leads to finding greater success in your learning as well. I am looking forward to seeing you all together soon. We'll have a number of events to help you get ready, including our orientation and assessment day. And you'll get to meet all the Year 6s here at St Phillips if you're new, and all the newcomers if you're already here. And we have Year 7 WAM days, Welcome and Mentoring days, at the start of the year. They are really important to get you set up for the year ahead. It's great to be able to present to you tonight. Thanks everyone.
Thank you, Glenn. We are now going into our question and answer time. Thank you to those who have already sent in some questions. If you would still like to register a question, please use the Q&A section at the bottom of the screen. So our first question tonight is, when in the year would you get your interest electives? So I'll hand over to our panel, who's Mr. Telfer, Mr. Urain and Mr. Costa.
I'll take that one about interest electives if you like. I'm currently running those. So interest electives are chosen at the start of each semester. So in semester 1, we'll meet in the first week or two of the school year, and we'll have 8 to 10 electives for you to choose from. We'll have a guide of what occurs in each of those different electives, and then you'll have the opportunity to be able to choose your preferences. Most students get their first preference, some get their second, and very rarely we have to go to third preferences. So yeah, they're really enjoyable. At the start of the second semester, then you choose them again. So you have a chance to do 2 different interest electives through the year, And if you're in the sports academy, which is a very popular one, you need a trial for that. That goes for the full year.
Our next question is, are you allowed to use the gym in break times?
You go for that, Glenn.
Okay. So with our gym, there are special times that the senior school students and the older school students in the senior school get to use them. So not generally during break times for our middle school students, but as you get older and you have more ability to be able to use different facilities within our new senior school building, then you'll have the opportunity to be able to use things like the gym and wait till you get up to the Year 12 senior school area on the top level. It's just fantastic. So yeah, all of those come as you get more opportunities in the senior school.
When would a Year 7 student be able to access the gym?
So the gym is used by Year 7 and 8 students for PE lessons. Now obviously our PE lessons aren't all in the gym, but we do have a number of times during the year where our PE department has timetabled Year 7 students into the gym. And yeah, it's a pretty rare opportunity to be able to get to use that kind of a gym at 12, 13 years of age.
We do have some very buff students, by the way, Mr. Aaron, don't we? So
yeah, walk sideways through doors and, you know.
Okay, our next question is, what is Crusaders?
Crusaders, that's my domain. So Crusaders stands for Crew Group. It's a Christian group that runs every Thursday at lunchtime, and we have lots of fun and games, and we eat lots of food. Not always the most healthiest of food, but we have lots of food, and we study the Bible, and it's just it's awesome. So we have a lot of fun and learn about Jesus, which is great.
And off the back of that, Crusaders is a group that's sort of nationwide. It's actually worldwide, an international organisation, and they have Crew Group camps and things like that we advertise, don't we, through Crew?
Yeah, so every spring, summer, autumn, winter, they have different types of camps, so we encourage each of our students to go on one of them, so they're fantastic.
Our next question is, are student timetables able to be emailed to parents as well so that they can help their student with reminders and assisting them in what's on the next day?
Oh, absolutely, yes. At the start of the school year, of course, we've got all of those planned out, and we do spend a lot of time, particularly with the Year 7s, going through those timetables and introducing them to all of the different teachers and the heads of faculties and things like that. And of course, once those timetables are with the students, then absolutely we're able to be able to email those sorts of things home. And communication is something that I think is a real strong point for our school, and I hope you would feel the same way once you start getting the information coming through in the next few months.
As a Year 7 parent this year, one of the things that I've been doing with my son, particularly at the start, was so I could access his timetable, but I was asking him each night, what have you got? What are your lessons you got tomorrow? You know, what's the uniform? What do you need for those? Asking him those questions the night before, and helping him to. And at the start of the year, that was pretty much every night. And what I found now is just getting him into that routine of being responsible for making sure he's got all of his uniform and all of the stuff that he needs, and that he knows what his timetable is himself. But yeah, at the start, you do have to hold their hand a little bit more at the start, but then hopefully as you get into term 1, that they're starting to take responsibility themselves.
And Marty, every Friday in nurture classes, we go through the timetable for the next week, so the students write up their timetable and what is due in terms of homework, assessments, and also when to wear their sport gear or not. So
and that's in their diaries. They're doing that right on.
Their diaries, that's right. Yeah.
Those things are also available on our MySPCC parent portal, so you can log in as a parent and you can see your child's timetable on there. So if the paper version goes missing, that's where you'll find it. Our next question is, what are school start and finish times? I can actually answer that.
So we start school at 8:40. Our gates open at the front of the school, the admin building, at 8:10 in the morning. So 8:40 is the start of the school day for nurture for half an hour. We finish our day at 3:10, and a lot of the students will gather then in our middle school quadrangle area for buses, and others will leave through the gates to be picked up by parents.
I guess the other thing to say there, like you mentioned, I think it was in the video too, that there's also the homework hub that the students can go to, which is in the library afterwards. And again, that's been something that my kids have accessed as well. And that runs until 4 o'clock each afternoon.
Okay, our next question is, are there any art or pottery classes?
Oh, absolutely. We have a lot of visual arts opportunities through Year 7 and 8 and beyond, depending on what your child chooses. We have 2 wonderful visual arts rooms, and we've got everything you can imagine, from screen printing to a kiln for firing pottery and everything else as well. So we have all those facilities available. Our 2 teachers just love visual arts, and they open up the room at lunchtimes, and often they're there late at night working through things with our Year 12s with their senior projects for the HSC. So we do have all of those things. I must admit, the visual arts interest elective is hugely popular, and the beauty of it is it's not just like, all right, everyone draw this picture. It's what do you want to work on? What projects do you want? What's your interest? What's your skill and gift and strength? We want you to work to that, and that can be creating a pottery creation, or it could be doing some illustrating. Yeah.
One of the things that I got to know about the school before coming here, this school has a reputation for doing extremely well in the creative arts field in Year 11 and 12, and so our HSC creative arts students, whether that be visual arts or whether that be music or drama, this school has a reputation for doing extremely well at that end. And of course, that doesn't just start when they get into Year 11. That interest and that passion for these subjects starts all the way back down, even before Year 7, in Year 5 and earlier. And so that's a real strength of the school that the students will experience in their time here, is that real emphasis on the creative arts.
If COVID-19 were to interrupt camp for next year, would it be cancelled or just delayed?
Yeah, that's a good question. These are daily questions for me at the moment. Look, it is where we go by the mantra, one day at a time. And so, obviously our policy every day has been to follow the health advice from New South Wales. I'm aware, I was just reading earlier before we came on to this webinar, that the whole question around camps is a pretty hot one at the moment in the New South Wales government. So I can tell you that if the camp was yet to, next week, we wouldn't be doing it. Look, I think that who knows where that's going to be next year. Our hope, of course, is that we can continue our camp program next year, because it is a really important part of what we offer here. You heard all the students talk about it being their most memorable time this year, and that's the idea. You take them away and it's the highlight of their year, but it's also a time when the year group bonds together. And so it's a really important time for us. We won't be doing it if the health advice says we can't, obviously, and we'd be looking for other ways to bring the year group together. But at this stage, our hope is that we will be able to continue that next year.
Where will we find a list of all our Year 7 teachers?
Okay, so at the start of the school year, of course, as Mandy has mentioned on the parent portal, there'll be all of the timetables, etc. put up there, and part of that is actually having the teachers on there. The students will be introduced to all of those teachers in our WAM days, our Welcome and Mentoring days, for the first couple of days of the school year, and they'll receive all information about that. But we will generally be sending out an email late December, early January, with regard to the main core classes that your child is in, and then from there it'll be when they start as to all of the other teachers that they then have. So that will be when the timetables come out, and that's generally in those days just as your children are coming back to school. So it can sometimes be those couple of days just beforehand, but they're certainly sorted out well in advance, and if you need more info, we can get it to you.
And again, from a parent perspective, I got to meet the teachers as a parent. Around about week 3, we have all the parents come and you get introduced to all of the Year 7 teachers, so you can have a conversation with them in person then. Yeah.
And certainly I'd also recommend that if you've got a particular concern or you really want to ensure that particular teachers or all of your child's teachers know about a concern that you have for your child, and it might be a learning support need, or it might be just something that you feel that the school needs to know about and be on the front foot with, then by all means get in touch. And the core teachers will generally get in touch at the start of the school year, as well as our parent information evenings as well.
Our next question is, our son doesn't seem very keen to join any clubs. He just wants to enjoy break with his friends. How forceful should we be?
Yeah, I think it's obviously, it's great to spend time with friends as well, but there's just a lot of different activities you can get involved in, and if a club is not for you, then maybe an interest elective would be. So, for instance, there's a riding elective now, a mountain bike riding elective. So, maybe something like that would be a great way to bond as well. So, there's no pressure to get involved in anything. It's just it's there if you want to take it up. But we encourage every student to take up something that's going to extend them and challenge them as well.
Yeah, and I think I'd add to that the lunch clubs are they're not mandatory, but I do think that at some point or in your time at the school, it's good to get involved in something beyond just your normal lessons, because like Glenn was saying earlier, that's when you get the most out of school. So that doesn't have to be a lunch club. That could be a music group that happens before or after school, or a sporting team, or whatever it is. It's just about getting involved, I think, is the main message there.
Are lockers necessary for Year 7?
Quick answer is no, absolutely not. I mean, they're very handy, particularly for those students who might have a distance to come, or it might be that they feel like they might be walking a fair way to the bus stop or things like that. They might say, look, I want to leave some books at school that I don't need each day or whatnot. So it virtually comes down to what equipment that you have each day, and whether or not you feel that it would be useful for you. As there is a core class, it means that all of our students put their bags outside their homeroom, and there is provision as well if, say, there's a guitar, or if there's a large instrument or other equipment that they're bringing in, for us to be able to use our storerooms. I know that our middle school office, we house a number of instruments, scooters and different things, and we know that how that's to be used with the students, and they ask for permission, all of those sorts of things. So lockers not necessary, but absolutely can be useful for some of our students who use them really well.
Do Year 7s get buddies?
I guess for the new students that come into the school that join the current Year 6 cohort, yes, we do buddy them up, and usually it's kind of a group of students that get together, maybe 2 or 3. Sometimes 4 that you buddy them up with, so just they feel comfortable coming to school. So, and sometimes it's an organic process as well. So if we see that the students already fitting in nicely, then we're not going to worry about that too much. But if a student's struggling, then we really try to make sure they feel comfortable and they're taken care of in that regard.
So those WHAM days are important for that, getting the students together and giving them time just to be able to work with different groups and go on sort of treasure hunts and things like that around the school, so that there's a lot of bonding going on in those initial days.
They do tend to find friends pretty early.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
And I think, again, my son's experience this year has been that being in the one core class means that he's most of the day he's with the same group of students, and that has just helped him to develop friendships with those students. Yeah.
And then late in Year 7, we actually ask the Year 7s to get to know the Year 4s as they're going to be coming into our middle school into Year 5. So there's that buddy relationship through an orientation day and other activities that we do with them, so that they feel when they get into Year 5, they've got a Year 8 that they know and can touch base with on the playground or around the middle school.
Is there a school dance team?
When you say a team, it's not actually like a team that would go and compete or anything like that. But absolutely, we have dance as one of our electives currently, and for the next semester, they're actually putting together a performance that would go towards our end of year celebrate presentation night, and they're outstanding, these performances that our Year 7 and 8 students come up with working together. Of course, dance happens through our PE lessons and those kinds of things through the secondary years, and we also offer it in a number of different ways through sport as well. So sport offerings are opened up for dance as well. It just depends on whether you're joining that and what year group you're in at the time.
It's an elective in Year 9 too, that the students can choose dance in Year 9 and do that over Year 9 and 10.
What is the Sports Academy and how do you join the Sports Academy?
That's a really good question. It's really popular. Our Sports Academy is all about learning what elite athletes do to become elite athletes. And they have a trial at the start of the year. It happens during our interest elective time, which is 100 minutes every fortnight. And we've got a wonderful teacher who's been running that for a number of years, Mrs. Baylash, and she has put the kids through a number of trials to try out for it. And 24 students generally go into the Sports Academy, and then they'll learn all about different aspects of being an elite athlete, from doing sprint tests and beat tests and things like that, to flexibility, strength, sustenance and all those sorts of things, diet, and even physiotherapists and people like that will come in and talk to the kids about that. The biggest deal for them in the school year is that they get to go to the AIS in Canberra in usual years. So that's the Australian Institute of Sport. With COVID, unfortunately, we haven't been able to go there this year. But those students sort of at the AIS for 4 nights learn what it's like to train like an athlete, to eat like an athlete, and to be coached like an athlete from some experts that are down there. It's an outstanding excursion, and I need to go back. It was a really good one. So that's our Sports Academy, and the kinds of things that kids do to try out for that is to do a number of sort of tests from sprints to jumps to strength tests. Plus, they also put forward an application with regard to teams they might be part of, representative teams, other sports they've been involved with outside of school, and all of those things go together into kind of like a point system that we then make our choices from.
Do we have to play an instrument?
No. We know that our students all have different gifts and strengths, and we have the most incredible music program here at this school. It's certainly beyond anything I've ever seen before in my career, and those children that are interested in learning an instrument at school, getting tutored in that instrument at school, joining an ensemble, an orchestra, even a cappella group, and a regular choir as well, orchestra, band, etc. We've even got string groups. There's so much. So I think it's one of the top offerings of our school, but you do not need to learn an instrument. I'm sure there'll be plenty of other things that you can focus your energy and strengths on.
Are school counsellors available?
Yeah, so we have a wellbeing team, and that's a group of people who are here that the students can talk to about whatever's going on. They get a chance to meet with them on a regular basis if that's something that would be of assistance. I think for me, it's people like Mr. Costa, Mr. Urain. It's often what happens at a school is that the students will gravitate and want to share what's going on with a teacher that they like, that they trust, and I hope that all of our staff can be having those kind of conversations if that's what the student needs to talk about. But yeah, we certainly do have a wellbeing staff, and they're heavily involved in our wellbeing programs, and the students get to see them in assemblies and chapels and things like that, and they're there for the students to talk with. Yeah.
Okay, I think our last question for this evening is about the coding elective. Just wondering if it's about robotics or video games, if that style of coding.
Well, it can be both. It's not always an elective. Sometimes we've had coding as an interest elective. Other times it's just a coding club that happens. That's currently Mondays at lunchtime. We've got a wonderful room set up for all of that and a teacher who is hugely passionate about coding and robotics. So at the moment it's coming along to coding on a Monday lunchtime. But of course through our technology lessons and our maths lessons in stage 3, we do coding and robotics. Now when I talk about robotics, it's mostly about using Lego robotics, and we go in what's called Robo Cup, and and our students love to compete in that, and they're the kinds of things that they'll do at those Monday lunchtimes. With regard to coding, we'd use a number of different coding platforms like Scratch or Grok and things like that. We've got Makey and lots of different electronics that can help through our MacBooks, because all of our students get a MacBook Air. We just are able to program through that and make all of these different objects and robots come to life. And so that's pretty much how we run it. Sometimes we've had a coding club or a robotics club. We have that. Sometimes we also have it as an elective too. Depends on which teachers are taking interest electives for that semester.
My son did it this year in TAS, and so it was a unit in TAS, and they did coding through using that Scratch program. Yeah, so it is something that all the kids would get to do in Year 7 at some point.
Absolutely.
Do we have time for one more?
Sure.
This is a quick one. How do the school houses work?
Oh, Mandy could just about answer this one. She's the one that puts everyone into the houses when they come, and she tries to be fair. Like, she could give, a few more kids to Berube. No, look, all of the students go into a house upon enrolment, and we have a number of house events through the year. So the different ways that you can earn house points are, of course, through our carnivals, which again, unfortunately, it was only our swimming carnival that was held this year. We unfortunately weren't able to hold the other ones. Weekly at sport, staff give out house points to students who are doing sport well or putting in a lot of effort and that kind of thing. I jump up at whole school assemblies and rave on about the House Cup and how many points each house has, and then we have a big celebration at the end of the year for the house that wins the House Cup. And it's really exciting. And even through other activities like nurture groups might say, right, we're going to have a house competition this morning, and you see everyone's game face come on because they want those house points. So it's a lot of friendly competition, and all of our students get a house shirt when they come on board, and you wear that to your carnivals and special days that we have here at school when we have a house challenge.
Thank you for everyone who's submitted questions tonight. If we haven't answered them live, I'll get back to you via email tomorrow. Thank you to our panel for answering all of those questions. So where to from here? We have recorded this webinar, and I will send it out to you via email in the next few days. We are still planning on having our assessment and orientation day for new students. However, it's probably going to be in term 4 rather than this term, and I'll be in touch to confirm that date when we've got that set. We are hoping that we'll be able to invite families on site soon, but when we have the all clear for that, we will also invite those new families in for a tour. If you haven't enrolled yet, can I encourage you to put in your application as soon as possible? We've got very limited places for Year 7 next year. You'll find those application forms on our website. Thank you for joining us this evening. We hope you've enjoyed the presentation, and we look forward to having your children join us for Year 7 in 2021. Good night.